YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Curated Topics, brought to you by Curated Sense LLC. Woo! It's been about 12, maybe 13, 14 days since I've seen y'all. I didn't do a video last week. I actually did do a video. I went out of town. I went to Atlanta and I did a video while I was down there, but I didn't have my home studio with me. I had my headset with the microphone and I had I don't know, it didn't come out the way I wanted it to, so I am doing it here today. Bear with me, I apologize, y'all. I wanted to have that video out last week. I had a topic that was really, on my heart and I wanted to talk about. I'm just gonna do it tonight, so we're gonna get right into it. I really enjoyed my trip to Atlanta though. Shout out to my boy for hosting me. He let me crash with him while I was down there. I went down there for the Power of Networking experience. It was a conference for Black entrepreneurs and professionals, and we all linked up. It was founded by Dr. George Frazier. Went down to the Power of Networking experience down in Atlanta. It was a great time. Great time. I met a lot of great people. I'm going to talk about that a little bit here in this video. But let's start it off how we always do. Candle of the evening. Now, y'all have seen this bottle a lot of times. This is actually a different scent though. So we got the Sangre De Vida. We're back with the heart bottle. This bottle is becoming very, very popular, y'all. This might be one of my most popular bottles. And hey, I got no problem with it. Y'all like it? I love it. What's the scent we got in here today? Let's look. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's even different colors, so it's a different candle. But the scent that we have in here today is one of our fall scents. This is actually one of our most popular fall scents, the apple pie. Now, this scent is warm, it's comforting, and it's subtly sweet. It reminds you of grandma's baking. How many of y'all used to love getting one of those pies from grandma's house? This is what it reminds me of. So this scent is fruity, spicy, a little buttery and sweet, and it comes from contributions from apples, of course, cinnamon with a hint of clove, and vanilla. So check us out online. Get you one of these. We're having our winter sale come up. Winter sale is going to start on Black Friday and go until December 21st, just so I can make sure that I get everything shipped out in time, stuff like that. Now the 21st might be a little bit late, might be pushing it, but I wanted to give everybody some time to put their orders in. So check us out, curatedsenseLLC.com. Let's get into some sports. All right, so I'm gonna talk about the Browns for like 2 seconds, really like 2 seconds. I'm done with the Browns, for real. After this, I don't really plan on talking about them too much, other than whatever Myles Garrett does, whatever record he breaks this year, all of that. Otherwise, I'm not talking about the Browns, maybe until they play Shedeur Sanders. Even still, this season is a wash. It's done. Kevin Stefanski got to go. GM got to go. Everybody but Shedeur, Myles Garrett, and Quinshon Judkins gotta go. I'm not with it. We lost to the Jets this past weekend. How do you lose to the Jets? I don't think they won a game before that. How do you lose to them? Well, the Browns will find a way, okay? They will find a way. We started out the game on a good note. Quick score, got 7 points. I'm thinking, all right, cool, we up. Now let's hold the lead. How in the hell do you let them score 2 times on special teams after that? I mean, back to back. We kick the ball off after scoring. They run it back 99 yards for a touchdown. So then we get the ball back 3 and out. And on the punt, they run the ball back for another touchdown. Come on, man. Come on. As soon as that happened, I was like, yeah, I'm about to take me a nap. That was the day when I was traveling back to Cleveland. And I got in early enough to watch the game. I sat down on my couch. I was like, whatever, this game about to watch me. I went to bed because I knew we were about to lose. I saw those 2 scores. I was like, yep, it's over. And sure enough, we lost. Browns fashion. So whatever, we gonna move on. Let's talk about the Cavs. Now, The Cavs have had quite a few games since my last video. They've had like 3, maybe 4 games. I'm going to just talk about the last one against the Miami Heat. We played really well, but we had a disappointing loss to the Miami Heat. Came down to a last-second dunk by Andrew Wiggins. 0.4 seconds left to end the game in overtime. Now, first I gotta say, I want to give it to the Cavs because we were down 15 at one point in the third quarter. We had got it down to 9 by the start of the fourth. And then by the start of the fourth, we actually came back and had a 9-point swing in that fourth quarter to tie the game up and send it into overtime. So I was proud of our efforts in terms of coming back. And we've done that a couple of times this season. We did it once against the Bulls where we came back. I thought that game was over too. There was 1 minute, like 30 seconds left. And then Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Tyson went on a scoring rampage, and we ended up winning that game by 6 or 8 points after being down by like 8. So we've been doing well with the comebacks. My only thing is, and it showed in this game, right? Being the comeback kids, it only goes but so far. We have to get to where we sustain a lead and hold the lead for the game. We cannot just get out ahead and then, let other teams do what they want. Now, we were down in Miami. We weren't at home. Darius Garland was in and out the game. We had some things going on. But I liked our effort. I did like that. I liked how we stayed in the game. And I like that we did come back. Donovan Mitchell had an amazing shot that would have sent the game into double overtime. And I mean, that shot was crazy. I jumped up off the couch. That shot was crazy over Ware, who's the Miami center, and he's like 7'3" or something like that. Miniature Wemby. Crazy 7'3" is miniature Wemby. But Donovan Mitchell hit the 3 over him. And we got to work on our out of bounds play. So Miami, they're passing the ball in bounds. And I thought that we should have had Evan Mobley on the inbounder since he's 7 feet tall. You got to put somebody tall in front of the inbounder to, keep them from making a good pass. We didn't do that. And then they had a weird screen where we didn't switch. And it left Andrew Wiggins wide open for the dunk. And that was disappointing because you hate to see a game like that end like that. I mean, Miami didn't because they won. But I wanted to see more. I thought we could have pulled it out. But hey, that's just the way it goes sometimes. But what I would say is we just got to communicate. We got to communicate better. And we got to have better plays when it comes to finishing out the game. We have to understand that, hey, teams know that we were the first place team in the East last year, and they are preparing for us. Now, Miami was a little bit hurt last year after the way we embarrassed them in the playoffs, so they had a chip on their shoulder. We can't let them get their confidence back going into this season. We need to win out the rest of our games against them and make sure they understand, hey, our team is better than yours. They played really well last night, but that was just one game. We got to communicate better. We got to show that we're on the road. We're on the right path to where we want to go. And where we want to go is a championship. So we got to act like it. We got to act like it. Got to play a little bit better. I think maybe the team was just happy that Donovan hit that shot. And yeah, they were, preparing, but it's like, you have to stay focused. You have to stay focused on what the goal is. And our goal this year should be championship because this is the best opportunity for it. Quite honestly, I hate to say it, but this is the best opportunity for it. Boston is not in the mix. So there's some other teams who, they're trying to step up as well. So we need to show that we deserve a number 1 spot, and we are the ones who are going to finish it out in the Eastern Conference and in the finals. That's what we got to do. But enough about that. I'm going to get into the motivational piece. I'm going to do that right after these messages. Oh, we got a commercial, y'all. And we're back with the motivation piece. My motivation piece for today is going to include some of my experience while I was down at the Power of Networking experience, but also just some things that have happened with me over the last 2 weeks that really let me know I'm on the right path. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I need to continue doing it. So that's the motivation piece for this evening. It is, you will know when you're on the right path. And not to put religion on anybody, but God will show you. You might ask, how do you know you're on the right path? And it's precisely what I just said. God will show you. How will he show you? God puts signs in your way to let you know that you're on the right path, to let you know that you're on the right wavelength. I got a couple examples for you. So a couple weeks ago, I met with my pastor, as I oftentimes do. We are close, we have conversations, and he is getting ready to retire soon from the church. Congratulations to him. Got to give him his flowers. He has been a great pastor over the last 20 plus years. And it's crazy to think that it's been that long, but he has been a wonderful pastor, a wonderful person in my life. Really helped me see some things from a different perspective and, make sure that I keep my head on straight and things like that. And so I just want to take that opportunity to give him his flowers. But we met because he had shared some ideas that he had with me about what he wanted to do after retirement. So one of his ideas is that he wanted to start his own podcast. He's going to talk about fatherhood and how to be a good father and things like that. And he had some questions for me because he knows that I have a channel. He's seen a couple episodes. And so, him asking me questions and things like that. First of all, I've never really had him ask me any questions about what to do. So I was kind of excited. I was like, wow, this is a different angle. Usually I'm the one asking you questions. But this just let me know, hey, I'm on the right path because somebody sees what I'm doing. And they're asking me, how can they get into it? They have their own lane. They have their own thing that they're doing. But he's asking me questions like, hey, how do you do this? Like, how did you pick your setup? What kind of microphone do I need to use? Do I need a soundboard? Do I need this? Do I need that? Have you ever had guests on your show? Now, he asked me that without knowing that in my brain, I'm already planning to figure out how I can get guests on the show. I want to be able to do some things where I have people talk about what they went through in their lives to help you all out there. And he didn't even know that. That's what I mean by God will show you that you're on the right path. He'll show you that you're on the right wavelength. Because here it is, he's asking me these questions so that he can learn. But he didn't even know that some of these things are ideas that I have within my own brain right here, ready to go. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. And it was interesting enough that he asked me about having a guest on the show because I had already wanted to ask him. So once again, those types of things, we're on the same wavelength, and we hadn't talked about this at all before that meeting. I had told him I had a channel, but we had not talked about guests or me having him on my show, me being on his channel. We hadn't talked about any of those things until this meeting. And that's just great minds think alike, but also that's how you know when you're on the right path. That's when you know when you're on the right wavelength. I got another example. So I've been talking about Dr. Frazier and how I was a part of his group. And this was actually after my meeting with my pastor. I had a Saturday conference call in Dr. Frazier's group. So I asked a question and Dr. Frazier was answering. And then someone else came up to ask a question. And part of his question kind of stemmed off of mine. So they left me up on the camera view in the call. And it was funny because as I'm thinking of my next question, Dr. Frazier put the topic out there of what my next question was. So the guy called in. He was talking about his health and nutrition coaching business and how he could expand his reach, how he could turn it into something more. And as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about like, well, yeah, I want to expand my reach too. I want to turn my stuff into something more. And I know that Dr. Frazier has written books. I wanted to ask him a question of, well, how do you know when to start? What tells you hey, just get it going and stuff like that. And it's literally as I'm thinking that and about to ask the question, Dr. Frazier says to the other guy, well, have you started writing a book? Do you have a YouTube channel? Have you started making videos? Have you done this? Have you done that? Those are the quickest ways to expand your reach. And I was kind of taken aback. I started laughing. And he was like, Brian, why are you laughing? And I had to tell him, I'm laughing because I literally wanted to ask that question. I literally wanted to ask that question. So here it is. We're not even in the same room, but we're on similar wavelengths. That's what I mean when I say God will let you know that you're on the right path. God will let you know that you're on the right wavelength because you will match up with other people. And these are all positive things, not, oh, we're going to go do something negative. No, because you can match up with negative people too. And that's not what I'm talking about. Is stuff that will help you grow. And it should solidify you and your thought process when you hear it coming from somebody else and not just out of your own head. So Dr. Frazier put me in charge of being the other guy's accountability buddy. He said, okay, Brian, well, you have to make sure that you stay on top of this guy and make sure that he writes his book. And I'm going to stay on top of it. I'm going to make sure he writes his book. I'm going to make sure he starts his channel. Those type of things are what let you know. You'll see there'll be small signs. It doesn't seem like the biggest thing, but it should register in your brain like, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I need to do. In my video 2 weeks ago, where I talked about the topic of keeping your foot on the gas, and I mentioned that also in the sports talk when I talked about the Cavs, right? So I actually did that video while the Cavs game was on. They were playing the Detroit Pistons, and we blew the Pistons out in that game. I did all my talking about keeping your foot on the gas, and you can't let up, and this and if you watched it, you heard what I said. I say that because I finished up my video. I kept watching the game while I was editing, and at the end, after we won, in the interview, Donovan Mitchell brought up the topic of keeping your foot on the gas in his post-game interview. Now, some of y'all might be like, well, that's just coincidence. Yeah, it is. But at the same time, coincidence can be what solidifies you and you knowing, hey, I'm on the right path. I'm on the right wavelength. Like I said, those messages from God, they're going to be subtle. They're going to be slight. So you have to pay attention, because just those little things can be all it takes to inspire you to continue forward, to motivate you to keep going. And that's all you need. That's all you need. All you need is one little speckle. You don't need some grand gesture or anything like that. You just need something slight that helps solidify you, puts a smile on your face so that you can say, you know what, I got this. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to use my experience from the power of networking. So when I first got there, it was like Wednesday, it was registration day. I was one of the first people there to show up for registration day. Well, I showed up a little bit too early because registration wasn't ready at the time when I got there. So I was just kind of waiting around, waiting for them to finish setting up. And as I'm standing in the hallway, somebody else walked up, and his name is Dr. Leith. And he introduced himself to me and asked me, hey, what's going on with the registration, this and that. And we kind of got to talking in the hallway. So we're talking in the hallway, and he's asking me things like, okay, so, how did you find out about this experience? Is this your first time coming to one of these? This and that. And I told him, I'm familiar with Dr. Frazier, and that's how I got linked up with the Power of Networking experience. This is my first time down here. And he said, oh, okay, well, I know the president, so-and-so. He's a good friend of mine. And so he invited me down here, but I've been coming to a couple of these. And then we continued to talk. He asked me, so, hey, well, what do you do? What's your story? And I told him, about what I do. And I told him about, the reason that I chose to do that and things like that. I told him just a little bit about my background. And he said, oh, wow, well, have you written a book yet? And I laughed. It immediately took me back to my conversation in Dr. Frazier's conference call. And I just had to laugh. I was like, no, I haven't written a book yet. I want to work on a book, but I want to have a little bit more experience under my belt so that what I'm talking about, what I'm saying can resonate better with some people because they see I'm a little bit more accomplished, right? So he looked at me dead in the face and he said, "Oh, so you trying to write an autobiography?" And it made me laugh. I said, "No, I'm not trying to do that. Just I want people to understand that I came out of the other side of my situation, a lot stronger. So I'm just, I want a little bit more experience for that." And he pulled out one of his books that he wrote and gave it to me. Thank you, Dr. Lee, for the book. And he said, just get started. Get started and put it out. The rest you can do as a series. The rest you can do as you continue to grow. But if you really want to get your message out there, start with what you've already done. And then he gave me some examples of other people and things like that. But all that advice and all the suggestions really clicked and made sense. And once again, it took me back to my conversation in Dr. Frazier's conference call, and it really made me think, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm on the right wavelength, and yet I need to get started. So it was very inspirational, very motivational. But once again, small conversation in the hallway that started about registration, leading to something being much more, and building off of a conversation I had a week before to help motivate me to keep going. So these are the signs that I'm talking about. When I say God will show you signs, you just have to be paying attention. Really, you just have to be paying attention. You have to notice when God is speaking through someone. You have to notice when he is showing you those signs of motivation and those signs to keep going. I took it as that. Some of you may not believe, some of you may, think otherwise, but I took it as that. That's my story and I'm sticking with it. That very same day, I met someone else at the Power of Networking Experience who put me in touch with a group so that I could do a free interview. Like it was a free interview as if I was on TV. Hopefully I will get that footage soon to be able to share with you all. But as I'm talking to her, she said, "Oh yeah, you need to jump in and do an interview. Oh, by the way, have you written a book?" And I'm standing there like, I just talked about this not 5 minutes ago with Dr. Leith. And now you asking me, did I write a book? Well, I need to go ahead and write a book. Anybody out there willing to help a brother out, let me know, because the book's going to get started. The book is going to get started. Too many people have asked me. That's how I started podcasting. Too many people were like, you have a great voice. You should do a podcast. And I was like, all right, let's do it. The book is coming, y'all. The book is coming. I have to do it now. I have to do it now. Too many people have said so. But once again, there's another signal that reinforces everything. It's almost like conditioning. One person asked me, did I write a book? The next person asked me, did I write a book? Another person asked me, do you have a book? Well, book is coming up a lot. Maybe it's time to write a book. I'm just saying, those are all the signs that I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about when I say you got to be open and you have to be able to recognize the signs. All those things tell me, hey, you're on the right path, you're on the right wavelength. Now put those ideas into action. And now is the time to do it. If you have an idea that you're thinking about or something that you want to do, look for these types of signs. These are the types of signs that are going to tell you, go and move forward. Get this done. That's what it's going to do. So I'm going to talk about now, I met the guy from the conference call in person at the event. And this was so funny. So I run into Dr. Frazier in the hallway. He's headed to like the preparation room where the speakers are kind of gathering so that they can get ready to go up on stage and talk. And he had like a small circle of people talking with him and following with him as he was talking. He was kind of doing a walking meeting sort of thing. So I took my opportunity. I said, okay, well, I'm jumping in this circle. I got to get the knowledge. So I walked in, and I was prepared to introduce myself and will reintroduce myself to Dr. Frazier. And, he's like, all right, fellas, huddle up. I'm about to drop some game on y'all. So I get in the circle. I said, well, you didn't tell me to turn around, so I'm getting in the circle. And as he's talking and sharing game with us, the guy comes up behind me and kind of peeks around just to see what's going on, because he sees that we're kind of huddled off in the corner. And I turn around and I look, and he looks at me, and then I turn back to refocus and listen. And then I say, wait a minute. And I turn back around again, and he turns back around and looks at me, and I recognized him before he recognized me. So I said, hey, what's up, man? He's like, oh, hey, how you doing? And I turned and I leaned in and I said, did you write that book yet? And he laughed and I laughed. And he said, oh, it's you. And I said, yeah. So we got to talking, and I was able to connect him with some people who work similar to the field that he works in and similar to his business, to help him out a little bit. And it felt good to be able to connect him with people. That's part of the reason why we're out here, right? Life is about relationships. Life is about having good connections with others and good connections with people, and being able to serve them in a valuable way. There is no better feeling than being able to help somebody, whether that's achieve their goals, help them on the way to achieving their goals. But there's no better feeling. I had a big old smile on my face when he came up to me like, man, thank you, man, for introducing me and staying on top of things and this and that. And I'm like, it wasn't nothing. It really wasn't. It was, I heard something where I saw that there was a close relation to somebody else that I met and what he does. And I said, wait a minute, this is a networking event. I've talked about networking in another video, but this is a networking event. So I have to take this opportunity to connect you all. I would do a disservice if I did not. So I took that opportunity, because here it is. I've been seeing all these signals for what I need to be doing, letting me know that I'm on the right path and letting me know that I'm on the right wavelength. I have to be able to do that for somebody else. I have to be able to do that for somebody else. And the joy and the bark and all of that came from connecting those people together added value to me. It added value to me. It further let me know you're in the right place. You're in the right room. You're doing the right things. You're on the right wavelength. That's what I'm talking about. So not only was I receiving signals from God, but God got to work through me to be a signal for somebody else. So somebody else said, hey, I didn't waste my money coming down here. I didn't waste my time coming down here. I got something of value being here too. And that's what's really important. That's what really matters in this thing called life. Being able to connect with other people, being able to add value like that, super important. Super important. I'd probably say it's the most important, or at least one of the most important things you can do. My second to last example, I had a meeting with the wonderful Dr. Tiana Von Johnson, and she dropped so much knowledge on me, in 15 minutes. I first heard her speak on stage during the Power of Networking experience, and then she had a breakout room. So I decided I was going to check out her breakout room because I was very impressed with her talk on stage. She went through, I don't even know if this is all of the businesses that she has owned and all of the entrepreneurial things that she has done, but she went through so many of them that it made me go, wow. And so when I was in the breakout room, she was talking about how in order to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to have a red apple, which is a metaphor for something that sticks out. You have to have a red apple amongst a group of green apples in order for you to attract someone's attention. Now, in this breakout room, she's like, I did this and I did this and I wrote 20 books and I did a movie and I did a rap album and I did a documentary and I did a docu-series off my rap album. And as she's going through all of these things, you hear people just go, wow, 20 books, wow. And she said, I'm not trying to give away her secrets, but she said, hey, do you think all of this was successful? I didn't tell you whether it was successful or not. what I told you was I did all these things, and that led you to wow. And it was those type of insights where even I said, wow, this is great. It was that type of information that she shared with me when I got to meet with her face to face, where I was like, okay, yeah, this is what I need to be doing. So she didn't know this, but she brought up a lot of things to me that I have already been considering. So she told me about a bunch of ideas that she had for me specifically. And I just sat there and I'm like, you don't even know I started this already. You don't even know this is one of my ideas. You don't even know, like, these are already, in my brain for me to do. And once again, I took that as a sign of I'm in the right space. I'm in the right wavelength. I am doing the right things. And by getting into the rooms with these people, I'm now in the right room. I'm now in the right room. And that's going to be important for you all as well. If you're trying to succeed, if you're trying to move forward in your life and things like that, you have to make sure that you're in the right room. Because if you're in the wrong room, you could be doing the right things, but they won't get noticed the way that you want. So you have to make sure that you're in the right room amongst the right people as well. And it was an experience like this that helped solidify that for me and show me this was a good move. I was a little bit nervous at first, I'm not shy, but I'm not exactly always extroverted. This showed me how to open up a little bit more, especially more right away, and get up out of my comfort zone. I had to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And once I talked to a few people, once I did things like doing the interview, it opened me up and it made me put myself out there more. So I'm in the right room, I'm amongst the right people, I'm doing the right things. And all these things I'm taking as a sign or multiple signs that I need to keep going. And that's what I encourage you all to do. Now I'm going to get on to my last example. And this one is going to bring it all home. I was sitting at my table during the luncheon portion of the Power of Networking experience. We had a couple of people sitting at the table and everybody was talking and, sharing stories with each other, telling each other who we were and all of that. I was having a conversation with a gentleman, let's say on my left, and the guy on my right was talking to a young lady, and they were talking about whatever they were talking about. And she stopped everybody's conversation and she said, excuse me, hold on. I hate to interrupt, but like, where's your accent from? I've never heard an accent like that. And at first I didn't think she was talking to me because I don't hear an accent when I talk. Maybe it's a Midwest thing, I don't know. But I was like, oh, me? She said, yeah. She was like, your voice is just so soothing and I just love your accent. And I just feel like you belong on TV or on the radio. Like, do you have a podcast or something? I said, why, yes, I do. That's what I mean when I say you'll see signs that let you know you're doing the right things. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to close it on out right there. So I am going to come out with another video where I talk about some more of my experiences at the Power of Networking experience and some things that I learned. I'm going to go through, I took notes, y'all. I took notes while I was there. I'm going to go through my notes for each person that I saw and things like that. And I'm going to drop a video. I think I might do this as a video series, so bear with me. I'm going to do this over the next couple of days, and I promise I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it out there, and I'm going to be timely about it. I promise. So there's going to be more than one video this week, and I'm going to get all that stuff going. We're going to do a song of the week, and it is by my homegirl, Heck of a Mecca, coming to you fresh out of Akron, Ohio. She dropped a new song and it is called Sin City. So Heck of a Mecca, her new song is Sin City, Everybody go check that out. It is dope. She just did a video for it as well. I really like the lyricism in this, and I like the visuals that she did. She kind of did it at night, and it was a cool little camera angle. I like the little glasses she got on. Check this song out, y'all. Check her out. Make sure y'all get her famous. I want her to get rich and famous because she deserves it. She has the talent, she has the skill, she has the work ethic for it. And you know, it's not your typical female rap. It is a very lyrical, very well thought out, very well done, and she just deserves her flowers. So y'all go check her out. That's heck of a mecca. The song is Sin City. Let me know what y'all think. Drop your comments below. I want to thank all my listeners. Thank you all. I appreciate all the feedback I've been receiving. Make sure you drop them comments, y'all. I need more engagement. I want to thank all my subscribers. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. We building each other up around here. That's men, that's women, that's everybody. I want us all to win. I want us all to be the best versions of ourselves. So, in the words of KS, we build it as we fly it. We're going to have some new things coming. I'm working on some things in the background, y'all. But I hope that somebody can relate to this video. I hope somebody takes this video as inspiration, as motivation. And I hope it serves as a sign that, hey, get into the right room. You are doing the right things. You're on the right wavelength. Keep going. Keep moving forward. And as I always say, I'll catch y'all on the next one.